If we're going to have inflation, you want to find things that have pricing power, right? Things that will not pass that cost on to consumers. But you also want to look at this energy need that we have. So solar, I mean, it got banged up after the big, beautiful bill came out because of the incentives being taken away. We just broke a 2-year down cycle in solar. Great opportunities. So take a look at Enphase. That's a big popular one. Take a look at First Solar. Solar Edge. These are probably the 3 major stocks in the solar universe or the ETF. So that's an opportunity. So what else is my domino effect here? You know, nuclear energy has been on the table. It's still a bit away, but uranium has been consolidating now over 35. And that looks to me, if it holds over this 35, as still another opportunity. So you start to see where I go. And then I have to say, well, if all these energy costs are rising and the cost of silver rises and the yields go down, what are the consumers going to spend on? And that's where I say, A, made in America. That's always a good possibility right now. Things that make things, I'm looking at if cost to build is so much higher, why isn't 3D printing going to make a comeback? This is Stratasys. They had made a deal with NASCAR. They're an American company with a presence in Israel. They're working on technology now in aerodynamics, all the things that are going to cost a fortune, steel, copper, silver, 3D printed, at some point will get more friendly in terms of price. It still costs a lot of money to do it, but you know that that's going to improve. Okay, so now CC, put up CC. This is another one. Because CC fascinates me. So this is Chemours. It's a chemical company. Why is this stock finally moving up? It actually makes, and I forget the name of it, so let's just call it Teflon. It's a Teflon-like coating for all the chips. You cannot have chips operate successfully without this coating. This is not the only company that does this, but this is an American company that does this. And now, if you could see, it's building out of a base. So all these things are fascinating me. I mean, there are other areas to look at, like Zscaler. If you want to look at more of a momentum stock, put up ZS.
And I do have a position in this myself.
Yeah, well, good for you, because this thing looks like it's going to explode. And, you know, you have to choose your risk a little more carefully. Obviously, you're not going to be able to use a major moving average at this point, but you can certainly use that 300, that sort of low end of the consolidation there. That thing looks like it's going to, the longer it consolidates at these higher levels, the more explosive it could be going to the upside. So, you know, those are, so I have more in that realm, but I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about the thin economy, because that's what I'm most excited about, believe it or not.
Right. Yeah. So what is the thin economy to you?
Okay, so we all know that diet drugs have been a big factor, right? We know about Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. So I've been watching, they both got smashed. I would be a little bit concerned about both of those companies because they're not American-based companies, and tariffs, we're talking about 200% on pharma, scares me a little bit. But put up VKTX. Viking Therapeutics, VKTX. Okay, this is an American company, right? This is headquartered in California. And what they're doing is they're coming out with a pill form of the diet drug. So why do these diet drugs thrill me so much? Well, first of all, I happen to personally know a lot of people who have suffered with obesity for their whole lives, you know, starting as children, teenagers and on up. Once you get into that, it's very hard. They go yo-yo dieting. They try to go to the gym. You know, they've done every diet you can imagine under the sun. Weight Watchers, Scarsdale, the latest one, keto.
Atkins, keto.
And what happens is they lose weight and then they put it all back, right? So these diet drugs is a game changer for these people. And the staggering number of people, by the way, are obese, not just in the world, but in this country. It's like something like 38%. That's a huge number of the population. So it's expensive to get the Wegovy and the GLP-1s, but they're going to come down in price, I believe. I like this company, like I said, because it's an American company and because they're coming out with a pill form, which would definitely be more affordable. The point is that more and more people, if you see somebody that you knew 2 months later, they've lost 30 pounds. You know why, right? They're on these drugs. And people go, well, long-term use could be dangerous. Well, so is diabetes, so is heart
Yeah.
disease, so are all the horrible things that come with obesity. So I don't
Mhm.
really think that's a good argument. So now you have
Pick
to
your poison.
yeah. So now you have to ask yourself, what's the domino effect? First of all, this new thin economy, this vanity trade, this new consumer, I have read can make up 6% of the gross domestic product as it
Wow.
catches on for 2026. That's huge. What are
Yeah.
they going to buy besides the diet drugs? Okay, so now all of a sudden, imagine yourself, you're thin for the first time. What are you going to do? You're going to feel better about yourself all around. So if you're a woman, you might want to buy more makeup. You might want to buy any beauty product, really. You want to start taking supplements and start to feel healthy. You want to go maybe to the gym. Maybe you want to buy some athletic wear.
Hmm.
Maybe you want to start dating for the first time in your life. By the way, Match.com has just made a nice move. So some of the stocks that I've been looking for women oriented have been Ulta. Let's put that up, ULTA. Right? That's made a really nice move off the bottom, and it's beat out a lot of competition, including Amazon and other places where you can get cheap makeup. But women like to
Hmm.
go into Ulta, so that would be one. Elf Beauty is having a little trouble getting going, but that's another one, ELF. I like this one because it's more global presence here. It's sort of has cultural diversity, and I think that's a really nice looking bottom. I think you have to have some patience with that one. Let's put up Match, MTCH.com. A lot of people left that for dead, but now
Hmm.
look at the basing action there. It looks like it's starting to percolate. Some of these trades may not happen just yet, but I think I'm very excited for end of 2025, 2026. Here's another one. This one is crazy. SFIX. Just put that one up.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Now, I have to tell you, I was on Fox Business like 4 years ago, right at 2021 during the COVID thing. Look at where it was trading in 2021. And
Hmm.
I got asked the question, what do you think of this stock? And I was like, I would never want to order clothes that would come to my house that I would now be bombarded with things that I would have to put it back in the post to return because they have a very generous return policy. That was
Right.
me then. Me now is I've lost a lot of weight. I don't really want to go shopping because I'm still feeling body shamed. Maybe my skin is a lot looser. Maybe I may lose more weight. Maybe I put it on. I don't want anybody to see me. Where can I shop? Where I can get
Hmm.
some custom clothes. Stitch Fix. Now all of a sudden it makes sense to me. Today it broke out. It got up to about 408. This stock used to trade at 130.
Right.
Right? I mean, so this is kind of where I'm looking. I mean, there's a bunch of others. Planet Fitness, PLNT. That's been getting some benefit. Now you can see it's chopping around, but these are all things I'm looking at going forward as investment. Oh, no, there it is. That looks pretty explosive
Hmm.
as well. Nike made a big move off the lows, NKE. All these things. So I guess the bottom line is what I'm saying to you is that talk to people who are on the drugs, find out what they're buying, right? Use the old consumer instinct. Watch commercials on TV, as I have been doing. That's how I found out about Stitch Fix, because I hadn't really thought about it. What are they buying? Where are they going? Are they traveling more? Are they doing more, kind of athletic stuff? Are they dating more? Are they buying more? Are they using more beauty products even through cosmetic surgery or like a Botox? I've been watching AbbVie, ABBV, which makes Botox. It's also does a lot of immunity drugs, but that's another one that could be hot. That's to me the future in terms of
Hmm.
consumerism.
Right. And, as you said, we already kind of saw to a degree, the Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly big moves from this. And so you're kind of looking at, okay, what's next? It reminds me of the founder of the Investors Business Daily, Bill O'Neill. When jets came out, jet airplanes, it was, okay, what's next? Okay, you had Monogram Industries that was making the toilets for the jet airplanes. Yeah, you got to go to the bathroom when you're doing a 5 hour flight, across the country. You need hotels, from Howard Johnson's to Lowe's to Hilton and so on.
Exactly, the
So
domino effect, right. Oh,
yeah,
by the way,
yeah,
since you mentioned air travel, GRMN, Garmin technology, they're very big in terms of air travel. That the technology on the private planes is amazing. But they also make great trackers for weight loss, how many
yeah.
steps you've taken. Even though there's Apple Watch and a whole slew of them, this is another stock that has potential based on this whole explosion. Maybe not my first choice, but it certainly looks pretty good.